and he joins us on the Harbor One hotline. I don't think I've ever met another man who likes that Mariah Carey song. I mean,
well, you know what? I was, first of all, the movie's great. And I watched the special. Did you watch the special about Love Actually?
No.
It was just on a couple nights ago, and they brought back all the original characters and they interviewed them. It was really fantastic.
So is that your favorite Christmas film?
Well, it's kind of tied with Elf.
Unbelievable one.
Elf is pretty good too.
I think they're going to do a second one.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I do.
But also we're on TV shows. Are you guys watching Yellowstone? Did you watch Yellowstone?
Courtney loves it.
Loves it.
Oh my God. This Beth Dutton makes Tony Soprano look like a wimp.
Yeah.
I mean, she is nasty. I love it.
I couldn't believe that her real name's Bethany. In the last episode, we found that out. She's like, no, I'm Beth. She's such a badass.
Oh, it's. I have fun watching that show. When I'm
pretty
really
good show.
feeling down, I just watch it and watch her beat up on people.
And bad news, Elf 2 was canceled.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, it never got off the ground.
You know what should have also been canceled? Courtney's boxed mashed potatoes.
They were delicious, Mike.
Come on. My sister once brought mashed potatoes out of a box for Thanksgiving. She was suspended for a year.
You would have
put
never
on
known.
Probation for life.
You would have never known.
Oh, my God.
All right, so Wiggy wanted you to weigh in. Is it okay to say that on the Pat Maroon issue? Is it surprising to you that he responded to Jack Edwards?
I think it's funny. I think it shows a little, it shows why 3 times in a row he won the Stanley Cup championship. He's got nothing to worry about. He can be fat all he wants.
Yeah.
Look at Jack, scrawny little son of a gun.
Do you think it's okay?
Screaming at the TV all the time. I got to turn it down half the time.
Do you think it's okay, though, for him to do that? To spend, it wasn't even like a funny joke. It was awkward, and he keeps going on and on about it.
Yes, because Jack is awkward. I mean, that's the way he is. I mean, I think half of Boston hates him and half of him loves him. But he certainly loves the Bruins and is passionate about it. But he's a different breed of cat. And do you like him or love him? I'm not going to start judging him. No, as a guy that's been canceled, I have no right anymore.
Right. We talked about this briefly before, but I just want to revisit it with this team being undefeated at home and just on an absolute tear. It's very similar with the Celtics, where you make a coaching change. And, all we heard about the Celtics last year was, what a difference Ime made. That team, they make a coaching change, and they're on a tear. This Bruins team makes a coaching change. They're also on a tear. However, the guy that left is doing pretty well with his team. You talked a little bit about this last week, but now as they continue to win these games, is it more? I look at it as being more of a hot goaltender, and you got an additional defenseman who was hurt last year. To me, I can't believe that a coaching change made that much difference. And if so, what does it say about these guys?
Could you keep your questions a little shorter, please, Greg?
Yeah, sorry.
Listen, first of all, I'm glad you brought up the streak thing, because I was, down in the Cape, you can't always get the right channel that you want. You have to move dials around. And so I listened to your competitors, Felger and Maz, yesterday. And those chuckleheads, how are they beating you guys out, by the way? They have no idea what they're talking about. Maz is talking about the streak doesn't mean any difference. This is why he doesn't know anything about, jocks, because the last jock he had, we sniffed it. I mean, they were talking about the streak like it was nothing. These guys are going to remember the streak for the rest of their lives.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's wonderful. Anyway, what was the question again?
Do you look at it when you do the year to year?
Oh, yeah, Montgomery, right. Montgomery, I don't know. We talked about Mr. Rogers. I mean, he's happy-go-lucky. The team has proven to be deeper than anybody thought, a more resilient puck possession guys. There isn't one factor here, although you have to give him credit. I actually did a show with John Shannon, who used to be the executive producer of CBC yesterday, and he was talking about Scotty Bowman, who knows Montgomery very well, and said he's just a really intelligent guy that knows the game very well. His composure is excellent. I look at him on the bench. There's never any Mike Milbury moments, that's for sure. And he's he's got his finger on the pulse of the team, and it's a new way of doing it. I would have to admit, but you're not going to say it's just Montgomery. Is it Krejci coming back? Is it Bergeron? Renewed enthusiasm for the game. Certainly Lindholm's excellence adding to already McAvoy's excellence, 2 number 1 defensemen, and Swayman comes back and looks like, he's going to the Hall of Fame. How did that happen? I mean, everything is clicking for them. It's not going to always click for them. They're going to hit some bumps in the road. They come up to a really tough schedule here in the next little while. Colorado is dinged up a little bit, but still a very formidable opponent, comes in on Saturday, and we'll see how that works out. But it's a fun team to watch. I didn't think they're. Yes, go ahead, Courtney.
Well, I was just going to say, you bring up the schedule ahead, and they've been able to play so well, but they've had nice stretches in between of off days. Now you look, starting Saturday, they play every other night. So how important is it for them to get through this stretch, get through it healthy, and how many games do you think that they need to do? At least 500.
I don't think they have any pressure on them right now because of what they've done so far. And this guy, the coach, has been giving certainly the over 30 crowd a ton of time off, which I applaud him for. And yet you have to worry about the conditioning versus the time off thing. I think we mentioned that before. And this is something that he's got to juggle, but he's got a staff now that's able to help him, guide him through some of these lulls. But there won't be any more lulls between now and Christmas. And I think they'll be just fine. I don't have any lack of confidence in them anymore, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Mike, and I know that you're saying like bumps in the road, and I think a lot of people don't look at this team and say they're so confident. But do they need some adversity so we can maybe really see what this team is? And I know it might be hard for them to lose, 3-4 in a row, but do you need that as a hockey team to kind of, especially when you're playing this good, just to show, okay, you can bounce back from that?
It's an interesting question, but, when you were playing, did you really want to find adversity in your game? I didn't. I just wanted to keep on winning, have some fun, have a few laughs, but will they learn something from it? Some of the younger guys will, and some of the older guys have already been through plenty of adversity. Just keep the party going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember Teddy Bruschi saying during the year that they went undefeated that he maybe felt like maybe losing the game might have took some of the pressure off. I don't know. Maybe because there's so many games in hockey, unlike football, that if you go on a 3 or 4 game losing streak, it's not a bad thing.
I think they probably will go on a 3 or 4 game losing streak at some point, and whether it's a good or bad thing, I guess we'll know. But given what I've seen through 25% of the season, this is not just a drop in the hat. That's like, 5 games in a football season. You pretty much know what you got at that point, don't you? And I think we know what we have with the Bruins right now, and it's a darn good team that's resilient, that has leadership at the top. I mean, Bergeron, Krejci, Marchand, those guys have been around for a while. They know what's what. They know how to win, and they know how to handle losing. I don't think they need it, but I think they'll handle it well if they come across it.
Well, it seems like they're able to, from a veteran perspective, take a guy like Taylor Hall, who you might think would be pissed about, a demotion to the third line. But you hear him, all he says is he doesn't look at it like it's a demotion. I mean, that's got to be the influence of those guys or Montgomery.
It's a matter of maturity for Taylor Hall, and didn't we talk about this way back when everybody gets healthy and Marchand gets healthy? Wouldn't it be interesting to see if Taylor Hall is on the third line? Yeah. He looks pretty good. Yeah. I mean, he's acting appropriately. He's doing whatever he should do. He was the best player on the ice in the last game again. I thought he was tremendous, and I thought his comments about handling the third line situation were excellent. And he must have been handled in the appropriate manner by Jim Montgomery again, because, if you're an MVP in the league and all of a sudden you're on the third line, there are a lot of guys who would be squawking. And This guy's got to the point where I think he's figured it out. The winning is the most important thing. It's not the MVP. It's winning a championship.
Well, Mike, as always, it's a pleasure. I know you want to head off because you got some World Cup soccer to watch. So,
Oh man, that U.S. game was so thrilling to me. I can't wait to get back to it. You know, actually, I'm going to put on Beth Dutton and Yellowstone.
oh, you're not going to get up Saturday morning?
No.
And,
Or
have a
maybe
little-
I'll just rewind the Love Actually special. Goodbye.
You and Wiggy, not soccer guys. Sorry, Sean, not soccer guys.
Sorry, I'll
All right,
stand on my island alone.
Mike, we'll talk to you.
Well,
next
have a
week.
good week, Greg. Go eat your feelings.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. The great Mike Milbury.